Alright, hey all you cool cats and kittens. Please bear with me. I'm getting over a pretty nasty cold, so I'm going to sound like crap. But I'm going to go ahead and go to Pixlr Editor real quick. The online photo editor. Y'all aren't going to have to Google search it like I did. You'll have the link. So when you get here, you're going to see there's two different options. Pixlr X and Pixlr E. Pardon me. What we're going to be using is Pixlr E. That's just the editor over here. You get a lot more useful tools with it. It's just an easier user interface, meaning like things make more sense. Pixel X is just kind of like a little bit more complicated, and if you've got more knowledge of Photoshop. So you're going to launch Pixlr E. As you can see, here's some images I've already kind of worked with. You can kind of see like an example of one thing we're going to do. You can create new images here. They've got it set up for like certain sizes, even for social media, like Instagram and Facebook. I don't even know who uses Facebook anymore. You can check out like cool stock images that you could use. These would be like royalty-free images that you could kind of mess around with if you wanted to. And then you can open an image from your computer or load one from the URL of the photograph. So you click that, it'll say image URL. You can copy and paste that URL up there. So I've got this dumpster fire here, sort of representing the year. But that's not the right URL to load it. That's just going to open up the page of all the different images. So what I need to do is not click on link in new tab, sorry. I need to go open image in new tab, and then I'm going to go to that tab. And then now I've got the URL for that image right up here. So I can copy that one, paste it in, and click load, and it'll open it up. So that's how you can open up an image from the computer, from the internet, or you could open it from your computer by going File, Open Image, and then just searching where you've got it. Let me find my school videos folder. Sorry, I do a lot of like all my artwork on here, and it is here. So I'm just going to put in dumpster fire, open it. That's just one way to do it. Close that out. We only need the one. And cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about zooming in and out. So if you just put two fingers on the trackpad, if you're on a laptop, you know how you would scroll up and down? Basically, or if you've got a mouse, using that little scroll tool, that zooms in and out, so you don't have to get a magnifying glass to constantly click to zoom in. So that's a pretty nice feature. All right, I'm gonna get to a good spot where I can work with it here, and so I'm gonna go over a little bit of the different tools for you to use. So over here, first thing, this is your layers. You're always going to be working in layers, and each video tutorial that I do will go through that. So right now it's locked, meaning with the selection tool we can't move it. So if I double click that, now I can move it around, and it's not restricted. So I'm just going to press Command Z to undo it, or Control Z to put it back. But now we're going to add a new layer by clicking that plus sign, and I'm going to do the text since I'm kind of making this like a meme. Double click it. You see it says like lorem ipsum. That's just like the standard design like filler. It just always says lorem ipsum, so if you've ever seen that anywhere or from now on, that's why. It's just like a weird like graphic design joke. But I'm going to try to change that font color to white, and apparently it doesn't want to let me do that. Let me try this. Okay. So yeah, not quite like actual Photoshop. I guess something you'll need to keep in mind when you're working on it. I'm going to keep trying to see if I do that. It's not going to work. So I'm just going to create new text. Nope. So it's not like actual Photoshop. It appears once you've made your text that you can't change its color, that you just need to make like a different text box. So I'm going to get rid of that. Make sure I've got the white color. Do a new text layer. Now I've got it white. Perfectly. Perfect. Wow, I can't talk. Okay. So I'm going to type out what I want. So currently in, no. Meanwhile, in the year 2020. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to highlight this, and I'm actually going to change the font up here at the top. There's a lot of cool fonts to use here. Really great fonts, preloaded. Oh, hey, there's one all the time. Okay, and scrolling through, I'm just going to find one that I like, that looks cool to me. Keep scrolling through till I find the one. There are way more options on here than I remember. They really improved. Okay, Navajo, that kind of looks cool, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to click and drag that down. Oop, let me get rid of this. Remind me tomorrow. Alright. So now, I'm going to get y'all kind of familiar with using different tools. So I'm going to create a new empty layer. And I'm actually going to click and drag that underneath the text. And this will just be kind of like our experiment layer. Do different things. So over here, these are your tools. It's your toolbar, just like in Google Drawings. The main tools that you're going to be using, and I'll go through it with every video that I do, is your selection tool. Meaning, so once we click on that, you see I can drag the photograph around. The next one is the selection tool. So I can click and drag out in this like rectangle shape. And it basically just selects that certain part of the image. So I can actually, let me get back on the right layer here, cut it out, and now that part of that image is gone. So I'm going to undo that. And if you see these like little dashed lines, these black dashed lines kind of moving, we call them the marching ants, and that just means that you have the selection. So the next one is the lasso tool, and you can basically like free draw out to select certain shapes with this one. So you see now I have just kind of like the fire shape selected. Alright, the next tool you'll be using is the crop tool. So if you want to make the image a little bit smaller, crop it down, press enter. I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with that. The brush tool, that's a tool that we will be using. Go to my empty layer. Now I can kind of paint out and around however I want to. But I'm going to switch the color up. And I'm just going to go back here and oh, no. Okay, do that. Apparently it doesn't want to let me click and drag on my computer for some reason with 2 fingers. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to put in a black thing behind it just to make this like stand out some. There are multiple different things that you could do here. This is just like an easy thing and to get you kind of used to using the brush tool. So your text tool, you just click. Why didn't it work? Click. It'll say, do you want to add a new text layer? I just hit cancel. It's not really. And you know what? We'll try it again. But yeah. So that's just to show you what it looks like. It'll pop up with that lorem ipsum. And it'll be like what your fill color is on top. Alright. So a few more cool things that you can use. Make sure you get your image selected. And you can go to filter. And you can go to effect library, and there's like all these different cool kind of like filters and just different effects you can do. So I'm gonna go to the artsies. I kind of like, let me see, out of all of these, this one called Frank, just because it looks like it's like it's going crazy haywire. Yeah, so let me see. I can actually put more filters on this if I wanted to. Like, just kind of messing around with the colors and everything. Apply that just to kind of like really reinforce that stressful situation. Got to keep making sure that your image is selected when you're trying to go to the effect library. If you click on filter and effect library doesn't show up, then that means it's not on the photograph. But there's all these different versions. Like food is what it's labeled for some reason. I guess for just a certain like tints and tones that it gives. Yeah. But I'm actually happy with this. So I'm going to save the image. Gonna title it the year 2020. Have it as a JPEG and download it. There it goes. It's downloading. It says ready in 3, 2, 1, close. Great. And that's that. That's just how you'll basically be making like a simple meme in Pixlr. If you have any questions, please reach out.